Oh, that didn't work. Hang on a sec. Okay, which one do I drop? Okay, I dropped this one. Still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Good. I was worried I was going to hang up on you by accident.
Can you hear me correctly?
Pardon me?
Can you hear me well?
You know what? I can hear you a lot better. Was that you that called me last Friday? Oh, okay, yeah, I can hear you much better today. So this is good stuff. Yeah.
I changed my headphone. Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so, you have a few minutes right now? I guess yes, if you were.
Yeah. And I'm just turning my volume up here, so you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah, no, everything's perfect.
Okay. So, regarding the request for reconsideration, there was two decisions on file. The one regarding the reason for separation and the other regarding your availability for work, right?
Correct, yeah.
And you had called and you mentioned that you felt like the employer has told us maybe false information, but not sure.
No, that's not what I said. Actually, well, in my request for reconsideration there,
Yeah.
I had mentioned that there was great difficulty in getting hold of Brenna, the EI agent. I felt like she was stonewalling me. I made like 36 phone calls and left 4 voicemails, and even spoke with her colleagues, asking, if she was on vacation or if she was, sick. And I was trying to pass messages along too through her colleagues to get because she had left a voicemail saying that she was looking that she had made a decision and for me to call her on her direct line. And I mean, that's all in the request for reconsideration.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just, I had no idea I did receive the letter from EI, but there was no basis for the decisions made. And I was never given an opportunity to rebut anything my employer manager, put forward for evidence or proof. I have no idea what the basis of the decisions were.
Okay. So, but first thing, can you tell me why you stopped working?
Well, it's all in my file there. I submitted a 19-page document. Have you familiarized yourself with it?
Yeah.
I
think from what I can see, you were, because you refused to comply with the vaccination policy.
Yes.
And so we have to render a decision about that. And the position of the government of the Employment Insurance Commission is that if someone lose their employment because of that reason, or this specific reason, it is considered to be misconduct, even though you can disagree with the term misconduct. But so I'd like to know why exactly you disagree with the decision.
Yeah, and I wrote in my request for reconsideration exactly why I disagree with the decisions. We can go through the request for reconsideration together, and if there's something you don't understand, you can ask me about it. How about we do that?
I understand if you disagree with the decision of your employer, you made a grievance with your union.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But basically, the reason why you stopped working remains that you refuse to comply with the vaccination policy.
Right, and I'm legally within my right to do that.
Okay.
Am I not? Am I not legally within my right to do that? To not have a medical procedure or treatment forced upon me?
You have the right suiting.
Yeah, so I'm legally within my right to refuse medical treatment or procedure, and but then according to you, like, and according to my employer, I was terminated for cause, and being terminated for cause does not equate, being terminated for misconduct.
With cause?
Being terminated with cause does not equate being terminated for misconduct. That's even in your own digest, your own literature online.
No, it is. With cause means misconduct.
No, it doesn't, sir. No, it doesn't. And I can show you proof of that. I can show you evidence of that. Well, but definitions matter, sir.
The thing is, we agree on the fact that the reason why you stop working is because you refuse to comply with the mandatory vaccination policy, right? And whatever we call that, whatever it is, a suspension, with cause, without cause, if you stop working for that reason, the position of the government is that you cannot receive employment insurance.
But that's according to your own documentation, your digest, your EI digest. The definition of misconduct does not apply to me. I mean, you guys can't just make up new rules. This is not even in your own act. No, I'm not suggesting you are making up the rules. Yeah, and it's important that we apply the rules and definitions accurately.
The Employment Insurance Act is an act. It's a law. It's voted by the government. So yeah, they are allowed to make the rules. That's the job of the government, actually. You can disagree with the decision of the government, but they are making the rules.
Yeah, no. So can we go through my request for reconsideration?
Yes.
Okay, yes. This is wonderful. Okay, so you've got the document there, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So with the conflicting dates, let's go over that. That should be an easy one, right?
Not really, but yes.
Well, that's the first paragraph. So conflicting dates. So I'll just read it here. On my service date, on my Service Canada under my latest claim, it is stated that regular benefits are not payable to me as of November 28th, 2021, because I lost my employment due to misconduct. And in the letter received March 16, 2022 from Service Canada Employment Insurance, it states you're unable to pay me employment insurance benefits from January 9th, 2022, because you've been unable to reach me for further information regarding my availability. There is a discrepancy with the dates in bold mentioned on my Service Canada and in my letter received regarding the date when benefits would be.
Why there is 2 days.
Yeah, so yeah, let's.
It's because the first day, when we say we cannot receive employment insurance from the end of November, it's because this is the week, because there is 2 decisions on file right now. So this is the week you lost your employment, you stopped working, because your last day paid was December 2nd.
Correct, yeah.
So that means that from that week, we cannot pay your employment insurance because we consider that you have lost your employment due to your own misconduct. That's
okay.
For that date. Then your benefit period started on January 9th. So when we look at the other decision that we cannot consider you available for work, we cannot consider you unavailable for work before the benefit period starts. So that's why, since your benefit period starts January 9th, that's why we say that we cannot pay you from January 9th or 10th on Monday the 10th. So till Sunday the 9th, so sometimes it's written from the Monday. So that's why, because we cannot impose a disentitlement or non-availability before the starting date of your benefit period.
Okay, so the starting date is January the 9th then?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Okay, so that's good to know. Okay, so moving along here, availability for work. So what is your decision on that one? What did you guys come to?
I was about to ask you the question.
Oh, okay, sure. What's the question?
The question is that from January 9th, are you looking for another job? Because I think the decision that was made was because the information on file suggested that you were waiting for the result of your grievance and you were not looking for another job in the meantime. So
no, see, and that's the okay.
No.
So there's a discrepancy here, like in
Okay.
in the letter. I'm just gonna find the letter here. Just bear with me.
So our letters are standard letters. So maybe they don't fit exactly with all situations. Then the letter will only be mentioned that we cannot consider that you are available for work.
Okay, so yeah, I found it here. So it says we are unable to pay you employment insurance benefits from January 9th, 2020 because we have been unable to reach you for further information regarding your availability. Therefore, you have not proven your availability for work. So basically what this paragraph is saying is because we haven't been able to reach you, you haven't proved that you're available for work. And in my request for reconsideration, I state that because no fault of my own, I made many attempts, and I even included my phone logs and stuff too. Sorry, can I finish, please?
I understand, and I know what you said. You've written it, so you were not able to reach the agent. I understand. Yeah.
36 phone calls and 4 voicemails left.
Okay. But that being said, so if we review your situation, so you say that you were looking for another job?
Yes.
January 9th?
Yes.
Okay. And what kind of job were you looking for?
Well, I'm looking for a job that will help pay my rent and pay my bills. I mean, I have been working odd jobs too here and there, but it's not easy finding. Like I was a highly skilled central office technician, so I live in a small town up north, and it's not easy finding a similar position. I mean, I realize that I would have to lower my standard of living, but it's a terrible job market to be looking for employment in. So yeah, I haven't been successful.
But so you're looking for the same kind of job?
Well, the same kind of job or something, that I'm trained to do. Again, I was a highly skilled central office technician, and I mean, to be honest with you, I've been struggling mentally with all of this too, and to give you an example, at one point, and this is when I was suspended and terminated. I ended up waking up and I felt like I was having a heart attack. And this is at around 2 in the morning, and I looked at my phone to see what the signs and symptoms are for a heart attack. And sure enough, it was talking about pain in your jaw and all that stuff. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having a heart attack. So long story short, I ended up taking an ambulance to emergency, and it turned out, and they held me for a day. And after all the blood work in the morning, the doctor felt that it was, anxiety or panic attack, or esophageal spasm related to stress. So, and then I've also been working with psychotherapists and psychologists to try and help me through this very difficult. No, I mentioned this because I've been struggling mentally, and with all of this, and it's been very difficult. And I like the point of it. All of it is, I've been looking for employment.
And why they are telling me that? It's like you were telling me that you were not fit to look forward.
No, I'm telling you that this hasn't been easy, and I've been struggling with all of this. So, I mean.
Okay.
Whether I'm fit or not, I mean that's not like I would have to get I guess a medical opinion on that, but I'm that's beside the point.
Okay. And so, where do you look exactly for jobs?
In the paw.
In the what?
In the paw.
Yes, no, but I mean,
this is where I live.
how do you proceed for your job search?
Sorry?
How do you look?
Oh, on the Indeed job bag.
Okay, mainly on the.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I have to be perfectly honest with these people that I'm applying with. That when they ask me if I'm vaccinated, I have to be honest, and because I'm an honest person, and I let them know, no, I am not vaccinated, and I have no intention of getting vaccinated. So I've had four interviews, and as soon as they ask me whether I'm vaccinated or not, or whether I offer that information, because I mean you don't want to start a relationship with an employer by omitting information that is crucial for you to be employed with them. So, but usually the interview ends there.
So what do you say are you telling me you did not have those 4 jobs because you were not vaccinated?
Correct.
So that's one of the reasons why we have to render this decision. Because do you think you have chances of finding an employment if you're not vaccinated in your area?
I don't know. I can't answer that. I mean, all I can mention is that I've had several interviews, and I'm illustrating the point that it's not easy finding employment up north. It's a very small job market, and it's difficult.
Okay.
But again, I'd like to reiterate that it's no fault of my own that that I wasn't able to prove availability when I made 36 phone calls. I even had my brother call because I thought Brenna was screening my phone calls. Like I don't understand how it was like impossible to get a hold of her, especially after she left a voicemail for me. Yeah, I mean, and that's why I offered like my phone logs and stuff.
But that's not the main problem.
Well, but that is one of the reasons that was given for denying me EI. Yeah, but that's not right.
Yeah, but the problem is.
But I just want to address each point, as we go, and we're addressing that right now, right?
Yeah. But at that point, it would not be a problem for me to change the decision if I could. That's not the problem right now. The problem is you have very limited chances of finding employment, considering that you're in a small town. There's not many job opportunities. You're looking for a specialized job, and you said
I'm looking. Hang on, sir. Hang on. I didn't say I'm looking for a specialized job. I mean, it would be nice if I could find a similar job. Okay. But I'm looking for something that will help pay my bills.
But in 4 job interviews that you have.
Yeah, actually, I interviewed for I've interviewed for SaskTel, which is a communications company in Saskatchewan. But I was hoping I could work remotely. I mean, that one I would definitely consider moving for because the pay and benefits would be very good. I also applied for a photocopier technician job here in the PAW, and I also interviewed. I'd have to look to see, but I think I interviewed for a satellite technician job. Yeah, so.
Okay. But still, all those employers.
Oh, and I also called. I called the recruitment officer for the pulp mill here in town because that one actually has good pay and benefits, and I'm waiting for them to call me back. And they don't have a vaccination policy, so that, and the SaskTel didn't have a vaccination policy too, actually.
Okay. And what's
I mean, the pulp mill.
Pulp mill?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
It's PULPMILL. It's two. I think it's two separate words, but it's one of the major employers here in town.
Okay. Because look, for my part in reconsideration, I could change the decision regarding availability for work since you do demonstrate that you are actively looking for another job since the beginning of your.
Well, and I have to, like, I mean, I want to work again.
Exactly.
And I mean, I don't want to be sitting on my ass twiddling my thumbs. I mean, you know what? Like, I used to be an RCMP constable with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and I went through depot, I mean, it changes who you are going through depot. Like when you come out of depot, you're not a lazy ass. Like you end up becoming a go-getter. And no, but my point is that like I have a very good work ethic, and I was a very good employee at Bell MTS. Like I even put forward and cost-saving initiatives for the company. You know, where I would save them like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I mean. Nobody else would do that sort of thing. Like, I mean, I always showed up on time. I did my job, and yeah. Anyways, sorry, I don't mean to be ranting. Yeah, and I mean, my employee performance reviews all excellent for 7. I got all 7 of them for all 7 years.
Exactly. The only problem here is the refusal to comply with the vaccination policy.
Well, no.
At my level, for sure, I won't be able to change that decision.
Yeah, there's 2 reasons though that we're given, and we're going point by point here. And so, what are your thoughts on this first reason of denial for saying that I was unavailable to prove my availability?
That, like I said.
That one's not right.
That, like I said, I can change the decision.
You can? Oh, okay, wonderful. That is great news.
But for the reason, but still, you won't be able to receive any employment insurance payment because the reason for separation, I cannot change the decision on the reason for separation.
Okay, so we've covered the availability for work. I would like to go over the misconduct. You know, and Phillip, please don't take anything personally. You know, I'm just trying to, and I don't want you to think I'm arguing with you. I want to make sure that we like I want to put forward the proof and evidence that I have, and the as best as I can. And but I just don't want you to think that I'm trying to be difficult or arguing with you.
There is only 2 questions to answer. First question is, were you aware of the policy and of the consequences if you refuse to comply?
Sorry.
Yes or no?
Sorry, was I aware of the which?
Of the vaccination policy of your employer and of the consequences if you refuse to comply.
Yes, and you know what? So no, I wanted to address those questions. And I addressed those questions in my 19-page document as well as in this request for reconsideration, and I'd like to go over that with you.
If you want, but if the answer is yes, I mean, whatever is your reason, if you refuse to comply with the policy, I won't be able to change the decision.
Okay. Well, Phillip, I mean, you guys have your own criteria, right?
Not criteria, like this. Regarding the vaccination, the COVID-19 vaccination policy, it's a governmental decision. So.
Yes, but I mean, you guys have an act, right? And is there legislation, or I mean, there must be some kind of law regarding all this stuff, right?
With a reasonable policy of the employer, it is considered to be misconduct. As simply as that. And the government has decided that within the pandemic context, the mandatory vaccination policy is considered to be reasonable.
Okay, so yeah, there's 4 criteria. Can we go over this, please?
If you want.
Okay, wonderful. So with misconduct there,
yeah.
I'm just gonna read this here. Hang on, I just gotta. It's been a while since I've looked at this. So I got a question. So is my union grieving and arbitrating my grievance of no consideration to you?
No.
Because I submitted the grievance letter and just to prove that they are grieving and arbitrating it and that it's a labor dispute.
But it doesn't change the fact of so no. Not in this case.
Okay, so what would happen if my union was successful in grieving in like if they were successful at arbitration? Now, would I have some recourse in coming back to you guys and saying, well, hey, look here, you know, my company was wrong. Would there be recourse?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see if there is new information, but the decision of the employer or the labor the court or
the arbitrator.
Yeah, the arbitrator and our decision. It's 2 different decisions. So
okay.
We'll have to see.
Okay. No, it's just I mean, EI needs like it's supposed to be there when you need it, right? So it's just like
the thing with that is EI is there. To get EI, you have to show that you're not responsible for your unemployment. And the thing is, in that particular context, since you chose not to be vaccinated, it is considered that you are responsible for your unemployment situation.
But you do understand that my company, like it was a unilateral decision on their part, in that there's nothing in our collective bargaining agreement.
I do.
And there's nothing in the letters of understanding, and there's no legislation mandating it.
Just during the weekend, you could see, I think it's yesterday, the arbitrator for Canada is the same thing. They made a grievance and they lost it. It is right now all the arbitrator or judges have considered that within the pandemic context, the mandatory vaccination policy are considered to be reasonable, even though they were not in.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also been arbitration decisions that have gone the other way too, and we also need to understand that these are quasi-judicial courts, and that the higher courts will rule that this is unconstitutional. And for example, Italy just recently ruled that it's unconstitutional.
Right now we're in Canada.
No, fair enough.
Okay, I don't want to talk about Italy.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, hang on a sec. I'm still looking here. I just wanted to raise those questions with you. I appreciate you answering them.
And you've got to understand that I'm just benefit of I'm still an employee of Service Canada too. So the other thing I would like to explain to you is if the decision is maintained, if I have to maintain the decision, you still have the option to appeal. If you appeal the decision in reconsideration, it will be with the Social Security Tribunal. Then it would be the member of the tribunal would be outside Service Canada.
Okay.
At their level, they can do what they want. I don't know what they would do, but at my level, I still have to apply the rules dictated by Service Canada, which is the government of Canada.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate you mentioning that. That's very informative.
It's important to understand.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Okay, so I'm just moving along here in my document. So I've got inalienable, common, and fundamental law. Can you see that there?
About what? Sorry.
Well, my paragraph I got it captioned here: inalienable, common, and fundamental law. So I just wanted to read that to you. So, secondly, most intuitively, a government, company, corporation, or anyone else cannot coerce, violate, or force you to violate yourself with a procedure or treatment compromising your bodily integrity and bodily autonomy. These rights and freedoms are inalienable, common, and fundamental law with plenty of jurisprudence. And so I'm referring to case law, right? And I've outlined and gone into some detail on these points and other points in my 19-page document submission to the union, IBW 435. The document was uploaded to my Service Canada. And you said you familiarized yourself with that document? Okay, that's good. So, so I quote here: it is submitted that the attestation consent form for Bell COVID-19 protocol for not fully vaccinated team members is duplicit, and that not only is Bell asking the griever to attest to reviewing, understanding, and agreeing to comply with Bell's rapid testing protocol and policies, reference documentation and videos, but they are also asking the griever to attest to reviewing, understanding, and agreeing to comply with the company's vaccination policy. In adding the vaccination policy clause, Bell effectively rendered the alternative and when I say alternative, I'm talking about the testing option, a non-option, and made it impossible for myself to comply with the rapid testing protocol because I was not interested in getting vaccinated, and I expressed this already by not having it tested to having been vaccinated in October. So, so do you understand what I'm saying here?
Not really.
Okay. So I won't read from my document here. I'll just try and explain it as best as I can.
I understand, but I don't see the point.
Well, no, but you said you don't understand what I just said there. So can I explain myself, please?
Sure.
Yeah. So Bell Canada, they came out with a vaccinate or test policy. I characterize this vaccinate or test policy in all reality as being a vaccinate now or vaccinate later or else policy. And what I mean by that is in October, they asked everybody to attest to whether they were vaccinated or not. I didn't attest to being vaccinated because it was in my legal right not to divulge information about my medical history, and the company was okay with that. They were fine with people not attesting to being vaccinated. So then 4 days later, they came out with a testing option, not to be confused with an accommodation. Accommodation is like a religious or medical accommodation, but the company 4 days later came out with a testing option. So I actually read the vaccination policy document, and I also read the testing protocol document. In this testing protocol document, there's a paragraph there where not even basically, but where I can read the paragraph to you, and it's in that 19-page document, and I believe I also added it in here too. But in that paragraph, they have this strings attached clause, or what I refer to as a duplicit clause, in that in order for you to participate in the testing option, you have to agree to a test and comply not only to the testing option, but also the vaccination policy. So, like, I've already not attested to the vaccination policy, but now they're putting this clause in there in order to do the testing option. You have to agree and comply and attest to the vaccination policy. So it's like it's duplicit in that. I mean, I'm not interested in getting vaccinated, so why would I agree and attest to comply with the vaccination policy so I can do the testing? Like, it's in their document, and so in putting that clause in there, it rendered the vaccinate or the testing option a non-option for me, because I'm not interested in complying with the vaccination. I'm not interested in getting vaccinated. So why would I comply with the policy? You understand what I'm saying? That's in their protocol, their testing protocol. This is not. I didn't make this up. This is, and that's a legal document. Yeah, and I mean, your four. Well, it's the company policy. I didn't write it, right? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, so the point is that the reason why it's not working, you do not want to comply. Well, but in your four criteria is not one of them that the policy has to be reasonable. What point? Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to look for these four criteria here on your. I have it here. Hang on one second, just so I can refer to it. We're both on the same page.
You mean for an action to be considered misconduct, you mean?
No, that's not what. Just hang on one moment, please. I had it here, and I just need to find it.
Okay. Are you looking in the digest?
No, I actually had it tabbed here, and of course, I was, again, I was all ready yesterday. But just hang on one moment, I'll find it here. Okay, I think I found it here. I'm just opening it up. Okay, actually, I found some good information here, but this isn't what I was looking for. This is elements to consider in finding of misconduct, and this is in the digest. But on your website, actually, there's criteria, and one of them has to be whether the policy is reasonable, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's why I bring up that clause in the testing protocol. That's not reasonable. Would you not agree?
Surely the vaccination policy are considered to be reasonable.
Okay, you're talking about arbitrations and other people's vaccination policies, but we're talking about this one.
No, I'm talking about the position of the Employment Insurance Commission.
Right, and their position is what?
That mandatory vaccination policy within the context of the pandemic is considered to be reasonable.
Anybody's vaccination policy, whether you've looked at it or not. Yeah, you're talking about in general. I'm specifically talking about this one. You can't just generally say all vaccination policies are reasonable without looking at them, right? Like, you're making a very broad general statement.
The problem is you refuse to receive the vaccine, right?
Well, and the problem for me is that you're making a broad general statement and not actually looking at the facts in this circumstance.
If you had received agreed to comply with the policy, you would still be working, right?
But you're saying all policies are found to be reasonable, and that's not true. Yes, in some arbitration cases.
I mean the policy that regarding employers who require from their employees to be vaccinated, it is considered to be reasonable.
In general, but if this one was reasonable, I would have. I spoke with my manager, and I told him, hang on a sec. If it was reasonable, I would have agreed to have done the testing option. And I spoke with my manager. We had a conversation about this, and I said, you know what? If they didn't have this duplicit clause in here where I had to agree. Sorry? No, they wanted, they had the option of testing, sir. Only if you agree with like if you attest to agree and comply with the vaccination policy.
Exactly.
Right, but I'm within my legal. Am I not?
The reason why you were dismissed is because you refused to comply with the vaccination policy. Otherwise, you would have.
Am I not legally entitled? Like, am I not within my legal rights to not get vaccinated? I thought we agreed that yes, I am within my legal right not to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did someone give you a prevention, or have you been prosecuted because you are not vaccinated? No, you have the right not to get vaccinated.
Right, and I also have the right to employment, like life and liberty, and to pay my bills.
Employment insurance is another thing. You have the right not to be vaccinated. Then will you be entitled to employment insurance? It's another question.
Okay, so you say I have a right to decline medical procedures and treatment, but then on the other hand, you're saying that they can terminate me for not complying.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you're saying, correct?
If you have a job, if you decide to quit a job.
No, but I didn't quit, sir. I didn't quit.
I know. I just an example.
Okay, sure. Sorry.
If you decide to quit a job to watch TV all day, it's your right to do so. You have the right to do it. Does that mean that you will have access to employment insurance? No.
Okay, so what does that have to do with me?
So it's your right to refuse to get vaccinated, but that doesn't mean you will get employment insurance.
Right, but I didn't quit. They terminated me. They aggressed on me with this policy, and then they went and terminated me with cause.
Like I said, it's the position of the government. I won't the position myself. So right now, I think it would be.
Hang on. So I'm not finished. Like we're working through this, right? Please, this is my life here, and I'd appreciate it if you gave me an option to explain my situation.
If you want, but like I said, I think it will be better for you to explain all that to the.
Well, no, I believe you to be a reasonable person, and that's why I'd like you to hear me out.
Whatever reason you give me, even if you say it's your fundamental right, if you think the vaccine is harmful or it's, I don't know. If you can have we won't argue on the vaccine and it's.
No, we're not arguing. We're discussing, my friend. We're discussing.
But it's not really, because the thing is.
I'm not interested in arguing with you. I'm interested in getting my point across, sir. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm just looking at my document here. So yeah, my point with bringing that up is that I was not afforded an alternative or an option, at least as a strings-free alternative option is concerned. So again, one of your criteria is that the policy has to be reasonable, and you're telling me, well, yes, all policies in general have been found to be reasonable at, I guess, arbitration, but that's not true. There are arbitrations that are contradictory to that statement, and I mean the circumstances and context need to be considered. One of the arbitrators actually made that ruling. But my point is, you need to look at each policy specifically as that policy relates to you can't just make a generalization.
Okay, but what point of the policy you think I should refer
So
to?
so I'm referring to the testing protocol and that paragraph there. Like, that is not reasonable. Would you like me to read the paragraph straight from the testing protocol? I have the document here.
Okay, understood. I heard you.
Okay, and so you don't think it's reasonable, or you do think it's reasonable?
I don't have to say my opinion on the policy.
Well, I mean, if we're to get to the truth of the matter, I'm trying to provide you proof and evidence here, and you don't want to look at it.
The evidence there is, for what the employer, what was required was that to be vaccinated to consider your employment. That's what I understand from the policy.
Okay. Hang on one moment. I'm going to see if I can find. It's right on your website there, the EI website. Hang on here. I'm going to find it. Okay, almost there. Okay, so I found what I'm looking for, Philip. Did you want me to give you the link, or you're probably familiar with this, I would imagine. But so I'm on the canada.ca/English/. Okay, so it says here COVID-19 vaccination. In most cases, if you lose or quit your job because you didn't comply with your employer's mandatory COVID-19 vaccination policy, you won't be eligible for EI regular benefits. To determine if you're eligible, we may contact you to obtain information such as. So they've got 4 bullets here. If your employer clearly communicated a mandatory COVID-19 vaccination policy to you, that's the first bullet. Second bullet, if you're informed that not complying with the policy would result in you losing your employment. Third bullet, if applying the policy to you was reasonable within your workplace context. So this is what I'm referring to. As far as like my workplace context, I've mentioned I've joked for the longest time that I've got like the loneliest job in the world, and that I don't know if you ever remember those Maytag repairman commercials where the Maytag repairman sitting by a phone waiting for it to ring. Like he's just, this is like that's how good Maytag appliances are, right? They don't break down or anything. So the repairman sits on his bum, twiddling his thumbs. I've always joked that my job is the loneliest job in the world, in that I can go weeks without seeing anybody. And I even illustrated that in my 19-page document there. And is this not a consideration for EI? That I mean, so why do they have this bullet here? If applying the policy to you is reasonable within your workplace context, like context and circumstances is everything.
Like I said, my opinion that we're discussing is the governmental position.
Well, no, but that is the government.
If you think it's not reasonable, you would have to argue that with the judge.
Well, no, but I mean, Philip, I mean, this is the government's position. This is a government website, and they've put this here. And this is for, like, this is the criteria you need to be using.
Consider to be reasonable within the context of the pandemic. What do you want me to say?
Well, no, that's not what it says here. That's you.
I disagree, but like I said, if you disagree with our interpretation, you will have to appeal to the Social Security Tribunal.
Well, no, I'm appealing to you, Philip.
You're not appealing. You're asking for reconsideration, not an appeal.
Okay, so I'm asking you to reconsider with what I've just said there. Like, does that not make sense? I mean, this is information. This is.
I cannot change the initial decision because it is in respect of our policy and directive. So, like I said, I don't have nothing to change the decision.
So, Philip.
I've been given, yes.
So I've got my 19-page document here, and I just want to read something here that pertains to what I've just mentioned. I mean, and again, this is on the Canada government website, and this is criteria that you guys are supposed to be following and considering. And again, I'll read it again. It says, if applying the policy, like in most cases, if you lose or quit your job because you didn't comply with your employer's vaccination policy, you won't be eligible for the regular benefit. To determine if you're eligible, again, this is for you to determine whether I'm eligible. We may contact you to obtain information such as, and I read the third bullet, it says, if applying the policy to you was reasonable within your workplace context. So with that being said, I just want to read this. So I've got, and again, you said you familiarized yourself with my 19-page document. There's a section there where it says, the caption is perspective, context, and circumstances. And this is a perspective, my context and my circumstances. And number 5 says here, it is submitted that the griever is at a much lower risk of contracting or transmitting COVID-19 at the workplace than others because he lives alone. There are no other vectors of transmission, like children or other family members, in my home. So this is one point. Again, this is perspective, context, and circumstances. The next point, point 6 I make here, it is submitted that the griever is at a much lower risk of contracting or transmitting COVID-19 at the workplace because of the nature of his job role as a central office technician. A central office tech works predominantly with equipment and not people, like a nurse, healthcare aide, teacher, prison guard, etc. would. A central office's tech typically maintains the network transportation equipment. It is not considered customer facing like a field service technician. Point number 7, it is submitted that the province of Manitoba's public health order requiring routine rapid testing for unvaccinated frontline public servants who have direct and ongoing or prolonged contact with vulnerable populations does not include or apply to my job role or place of work. Point number 8, it is submitted that the griever is at a much lower risk of contracting or transmitting COVID-19 at the workplace because he does not work in a high-risk workplace like a hospital, nursing home, correctional facility, school, etc. And the workplace he does work in, central office, is a very large, spacious building that only has 7 employees working out of it. The griever is the only one with an office on the main floor, whereas his co-workers share an open area on the second floor. With such a large building, it is not difficult to socially distance yourself. It is also submitted that the griever is at a much lower risk of contracting or transmitting COVID-19 at the workplace because the griever travels alone, works alone on communication equipment in remote, unmanned offices, outdoor pedestals, and cabinets, equipment rooms, and publicly accessible spaces where a mask can be worn or is required to be worn. And I even showed pictures of like my workspaces, my workplace.
The thing is, are we discussing about my opinion or the position of the government?
I'm asking for a reconsideration, and you have the discretion to reconsider. And again,
do you think I made decision based on my personal opinion or based
no, of course not.
Exactly.
You have criteria you have to follow, and I read one of those criteria, and one of them is that it has to be reasonable. Exactly.
Yeah. So, who is responsible for the administration of the employment insurance?
Are we asking who wrote that criteria about if applying the policy to you was reasonable within your workplace and context? You tell me.
The government?
Yeah, the government wrote this. I mean, I'm reading it right off the website, and this is
who is my
employer? And this is information, that criteria that you need to use to reconsider.
Who is my employer?
Is it the Canadian government?
Exactly.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
And for 2 years, since March 2020, okay, I work from home in my room. I don't see anybody, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it was mandatory for me to get the vaccine or I would be suspended without pay, okay?
Right, and that was your choice.
I did not go outside of my home.
So did you want to get vaccinated, Philip? Like, was that a personal choice, and that you decided?
No, the reason I'm mentioning that is if my employer considered that it was reasonable that in my situation I must be vaccinated, so you have your answer for the administration of the employment of the act. That means that even if you were not in contact with many people or anything, it's still considered reasonable to force you to get to be vaccinated in order.
Sorry, my friend, not in your circumstances or context. That's ridiculous. That is not reasonable. If you're by yourself in an apartment and you're working remotely, how is that reasonable? Between me and you, honestly.
Again, it's not our opinion that we're discussing. That's why I'm telling you that. Even if I would disagree with it personally, it would not change the fact that it's not my choice to consider that reasonable.
You know what, Philip, it sounds like you're a victim just as much as I am in all of this, and you were coerced into getting vaccinated. What you just described to me sounds very unreasonable.
That's why I'm telling you that if you disagree, I'm not the right person to argue with.
No, again, I'm not arguing with you. We're discussing this. Well, no, it's not that I don't accept it. It's that I don't agree with it. You just mentioned you have to render a decision. Well, you have the discretion, and that's why I'm asking for a reconsideration. You do have discretion because you overturned the other reason for denial. Where you guys were saying you had that discretion. Vaccination policy. That's a fact. The facts are, well, if you want to talk about facts, I mean, I'm using your own criteria here to try and. Well, but no, you have to listen to my evidence and proof that I'm putting forward, Philip. This is your job to listen to me. I'm trying to show you your own rules, though. Well, yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying there. But I mean, I am not making this up. This is like on your own website, and there's 4 criteria here, and we're discussing this one criteria here where it says to determine if you're eligible, we need to contact you to obtain information such as, and it's the 3rd bullet, if applying the policy was reasonable within your work. Like, why would they write this here? Why would they put that here? Why would they put that there? No, I'm just asking, why would they put that bullet there, that criteria? Does it mean nothing? Okay. Anyways, no, fair enough. You know what, Philip? Let's move on. Let's move on from this. Okay, sorry. Let's move on. Hang on a sec, Philip. I still have. Yeah, I still have something else here to discuss, though. Philip, I still would like to. I have a few more points here. Please hear me out. I haven't gotten to the misconduct, which is the main point that you're trying to make. Can I please? Can you please hear me out? No, but you have. Philip, please don't cut me off. Philip, it's your job to hear me out, and I'm trying to fight for my life here. This is my life. This is not a trivial matter. I would really appreciate, like, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate that you're listening to me. Well, that's your opinion. I mean, this is my life, and for you to say that I'm wasting my time is not fair. No, it's not. This is, you know what, I have to borrow money just to pay my rent and for my groceries, and you don't want to take the time to listen to me, and that's not right. You told me at the beginning of the call that you had already written all your explanation, and I did read all those explanations.
do you have some?
No, there is more information that I would like to discuss.
Okay, so go ahead with the added information.
Okay, thank you.
What is it?
Hang on a sec. I'm just looking here. Okay, so getting to the misconduct here. And I actually found this on your website here. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so for it to be conduct, the conduct, like it says here, to establish misconduct, it must be shown that the conduct in question constituted a breach of the employer relationship. That's the first point they make. The second point that I wanted to raise or point out is that the conduct was willful. Again, I received the letter with the two reasons for denial, but there was no basis for this, for these reasons of denial. And so, can you explain how my conduct was willful?
Because you were aware of the policy, you know that refusal to comply with it would result in your termination.
Okay. Do you understand what the definition of willful is?
What are you trying to say? That I'm too stupid to understand the meaning of a word?
No, not at all, sir. Not at all.
What's your point?
Okay, so I'll be getting to my point here. Hang on one sec. I need to find the definition of, I mean, your definition, like the Canada government's definition of willful.
You had the choice. You knew what you were doing.
Okay, hang on one sec. I'm looking for the information.
It was not an accident. It was not because you did not have the aptitude or a question of competencies. So that's why we say it was willful. You made a conscious decision to refuse to comply.
Okay, so here it is. So it says, according to the digest, the word misconduct is not defined in the legislation. When this word is used in a legislative text, it is the prerogative of the courts to interpret it. It is therefore a question of law. Over the years, jurisprudence has made a number of clarifications to the interpretation of the word misconduct. And the question of whether or not a particular action or omission of an employee is covered by the interpretation given to the word misconduct by the courts is a question of fact, which will be dealt with in later sections. So I'm just quoting this from the digest. The legal test. Yeah, the legal test to determine whether a finding of misconduct can be made and then is applied to the facts of the case. Misconduct is thus a mixed question of law and fact. So if the definition of misconduct is the prerogative of the courts to interpret, then can someone show me what jurisprudence Commission Officer Brenna applied to whatever facts she gathered to deny my EI benefits? I could not find any current EI jurisprudence that was specifically applied to my case. Again,
exactly.
Brenna.
I agree. That's why I'm encouraging you to go to court to ask for to appeal to the tribunal.
But Philip, I was never given a basis for the reasons of being denied. Like, I don't know how you guys came up with.
The thing is, no. You were given the basis, but you
No,
disagreed with the
no. I was given. You guys gave me the reasons, but not the basis.
you were told a thousand times. The reason is you refuse to comply with the mandatory vaccination policy.
Like, what did
Now you
like?
disagree.
Okay, hang on a sec.
And you disagree that it is that you in your opinion it's not a misconduct.
So, according to the digest, when the claimant denies having committed the action or omission alleged by the employer, commission agents must obtain from the employer evidence that the claimant did, in fact, commit the act of omission, or evidence that the claimant admitted to it. The claimant must then be advised of the employer's statement and alleged reason for dismissal and be given the opportunity to rebut the evidence provided. This never happened, Philip. Why is that?
You said it yourself. You refused to get vaccinated.
Okay, Philip, I said the claimant must then be advised of the employer's statement and alleged reason for dismissal and then be given the opportunity to rebut the evidence provided. I was never given an opportunity, Philip.
There's no need for that because the employer is saying the same thing as you do.
How would I know that though? I have no idea what the employer said to you guys. Philip, I have no idea what my employer or manager said to you guys. I've put a request for information in to get these documents.
I asked you at the beginning of the call if you knew the reason for being dismissed. You confirmed that the reason for dismissal was your refusal to comply with the policy.
No, actually, Philip, in the document I submitted to you, my employer terminated me for cause. They terminated me for cause. I don't know what that. I can only assume.
So I will end this call because really you're contradicting yourself.
Not at all. Not at all. I'd appreciate it. I'm not finished explaining myself here. I'm not finished.
You wrote 19 pages, and
I mean, you're getting paid to do your job and to hear me out. I'm not getting paid here. I'm fighting here for my life.
My job is not to stay over the phone for an hour when we're just turning in circles.
Well, no, we're not going into that's your opinion. I have like information here to discuss with you. Philip, no, Philip, are you biased?
So what I'll do, I will send you the decision by mail.
I'm not done. I've got a few more points here to discuss. Are you cutting me short? Are you?
I will because you're.
Well, but that's not right, Philip.
Tell me your point. You did not even know what.
Look, Philip, I'm being very respectful and professional here, and I would appreciate the same.
No, because you're repeating the same thing. You say you don't argue with the decision. You accept the decision, but you keep repeating the same thing.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's your characterization. Well, no, like, listen, Philip. I mean, you're trying to say that being terminated for cause equates to misconduct, and in your Reader's Digest, it says that that's not true, and other things need to be taken into consideration.
Where do you say that? Tell me.
Where do I see it?
Yeah.
Can I find it? Okay. Let me find that.
You won't find it.
No, I will find it because I just read it the other day. Hang on one sec. Okay, hang on.
And if you don't find it, you will be willing to hang up. Then we will end this conversation.
Well, I'm gonna find it for you. And so what are we making like? No. I got it right here. I just give me some time to find it.
So could you just tell me what your other points are?
Well, can you please just let me look for it here? So you asked for it, and I'll find it here for you.
No, I just say that I doubt you would find it.
Oh no, I know. I understand. But let me prove you wrong, if that's okay.
what would mean with cause for you then? What would be the cause?
No, that's the company. That was their official statement. They terminated me with cause.
Yeah. What would be the cause?
Okay, can you hang on 1 sec? I'm still looking for that information.
What means cause? What is the difference for you between with cause and without cause?
Hang on 1 moment. I'll find the information.
But do you know what the difference is between with cause and without cause?
I do, sir. I do. Actually, in our collective agreement, there's under section 18.02, they have that the company can only terminate me for just cause. So there's no option for the company to terminate me without cause.
Okay.
So
you said it's written with cause.
Yeah, I was terminated for cause. Now, the company in the official statement didn't say what that cause was, but I can only assume it was for not complying with the vaccinator test policy.
Okay.
But I don't know what the manager employer said to you guys. They could have said all kinds of things, but I have no idea because I haven't been given an opportunity to counter anything they've said. You just assume that I know what they said, but you can't just assume I know what they said or to you. But anyways, I'm looking for that information. Please bear with me.
Okay, look.
Please bear with me.
You filled your employment insurance application.
Look, you asked for that information, and now you don't want me to find it.
First sentence, you write.
It does take time to. I have the information right here. Like, are you afraid that you may be wrong? Okay, then please give me like a few minutes to find the information. Yeah, well, it's distracting, but
you wrote in your application, and I quote, on December the 2nd, 2021, I was terminated for cause for not complying with the company's vaccinate or test policy. So now you're telling me that you did not know why you were dismissed.
Okay, listen, I can't find it with you talking in the background, but I will address what you just said in a minute.
Because it's a nonsense.
Pardon me?
So it's a nonsense. You just
no.
You keep telling me now that you don't know why you were
No. You're not. No, you're putting words in my mouth, sir.
What?
You're putting words in my mouth.
It's what you wrote in your application.
Yes, and I understand what I wrote. I'm very well aware of what I wrote. Again, I'm supposed to be given an opportunity. Can you let me finish, please? If you're going to keep talking over me, it's like I can't get a word out here. Am I okay? Can I talk?
I'd like to.
Okay, because we're discussing this, right? We're not arguing. So I'm well aware of what I wrote, and what my point is here is that you guys, in order to complete your investigation, you're supposed to talk to both parties, but I am supposed to be given an opportunity to rebut anything that my manager company says, and my point is that I was not given this opportunity. I have no idea. Like, I know what they wrote in their official, termination letter to me, and I have an idea of why they terminate me. But again, I don't know what they told you guys, and you can't just assume that I know what they told you guys. Like, I mean, I need to be provided a document with the basis for your decisions, and also provided with what they provided you guys with in regards to proof and evidence. Is that not what's the word for it? Am I asking for something that is not reasonable? Again, like you got to think like, okay, so what if, and this is just a what if. Again, I don't know what my manager put forward for proof and evidence because I was never submitted that evidence. But what if they had submitted, something that's not? What if they? Okay, you're talking over me again, Phil. What if they submitted something that was not factual? What if they submitted something that was not factual, Philip? I should be given an opportunity to rebut that if it wasn't factual, correct?
You had the opportunity.
No, I didn't. I was not able to get a hold of Brenna. I was not able to get a hold of Brenna. She stonewalled me for 3 weeks. She only contacted me once, and that was during the initial investigation, and then I never heard from her again. And I mean, I made an effort to try and get a hold of her to discuss this. Okay, I'm looking for that information.
Yeah, because probably, yeah, gotcha. Anyway, I sent you the decision confirmation.
I think I found it, Philip.
Right of appeal because I'm unable to change the decision. If you find it, you can.
Okay, Philip, I found it.
Okay.
Okay, would you like me to send you the link so that you can see? Oh, actually, I can quote where I found it here. Hang on. So it's under 7.2.4.3, breach an employee relationship.
2.4.3.
Yeah, it says breach an employee relationship. Would you like me to read it to you?
No, I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, but what's the point? It doesn't say that with cause it's no misconduct. What do you mean?
Have you read it? A breach of the employee relationship may occur on either side of the relationship or may be an event external to the employment. The simple existence of a breach does not mean there has been misconduct.
Okay.
This is my point. Misconduct means the employee behaved in a manner such that the work relationship could not continue.
Yeah, it could not continue in that case.
Yeah, but my employment could easily have continued. Again, I was not given an option.
No, because it was a mandatory policy.
No, the testing was not a fair option.
Okay, your opinion.
So it says here, one employer may tolerate behavior that is defined as misconduct under the case law, while another may not. So here we go, willfulness. Sorry? No, what I did was not willful, and there's no way it can be considered willful by the legal definition of willfulness.
The best for you would be to explain your point to the tribunal. Me, for my part, I won't be able to change the decision based on the information you provided.
I'm not finished, Philip. I've still got. I'm almost done now. I'm almost done.
I'm sorry, but I'm done.
Well, you're cutting me off, so you're not even giving me the opportunity to explain myself. You're just gonna cut me off and hang up on the phone on me, are you?
Yes, I will.
Are you biased, Philip? Are you biased?
Why?
Because I'm asking you, because you have this argumentative attitude towards me. You don't want to give me the time to explain myself. To me, it sounds like you're biased. Well, I want you to listen. I want you to listen to me. I want you to hear me out.
I don't have to listen.
Sure you do. It's your job to listen to me.
No, I won't listen to something that is not relevant or something.
Well, but how would you know it's relevant until I explain myself, Philip? You're being very difficult here. But you're not even hearing me out, so how can you?
I won't be able to change the decision.
Well, no, you say that because you're not listening to me. You're not hearing me out. Maybe I have, evidence or proof, but you're not going to listen to it because, and I think you're biased. I think you have something against people who are unvaccinated. Maybe you believe, everything Trudeau has said about unvaccinated people being misogynists and people who don't believe in science.
I think you're taking it personally.
Well, how can I not? You don't want to even hear me out.
You told me a few minutes ago that.
Well, I asked you if you're biased. You never answered the question.
But the problem is you're taking it personally.
Well, answer the question. Are you biased or not? Most people would say no, they're not biased. But are you biased? Well, yeah, and I'm actually using your own rules, and they contradict what you're saying. No, I haven't. I'm trying to go through the document here word by word. I mean, this is not a trivial matter. This is my life here. I mean, I'm like hanging on by a thread, and you don't want to listen to me. You don't want to take a few minutes more to listen to me. Well, and how? Well, like what? So, well, no, I have new information. I have new information here, but you don't want to listen to it, my friend. Yes.
Okay, can you tell me? Can you tell it to me right away?
Yes. Hang on one moment.
Okay, let's make. What is that?
Please don't rush me. And I mean,
you have it or you don't have it?
well, I'm looking for it. Is that okay?
You can tell me back if you're looking for it.
Well, no, I have it right here, but again, with you talking in the background, it's very distracting. Okay, so again here, this is according to the digest. In general, misconduct refers to ill-intentioned actions by employee, actions that are incompatible with the reliable and suitable carrying out of the duties for which the employee was hired. These are actions that result in the person who worked for an employer and committed these infractions no longer meeting the expressed or implicit conditions of employment or work. And I ask, can you explain how my actions were ill-intentioned? Service Canada Employment Insurance needs to show evidence and prove my actions were intentionally malicious. I lawfully refusing testing and vaccination in no way, shape, or form could possibly be construed as being ill-intentional or maliciously intentional. Furthermore, I was not hired under these terms and conditions for which I'm being accused of misconduct. These new conditions of employment are not articulated in our collective bargaining agreement and were unilaterally imposed by the company. Hello, Phillip, still there? Oh, wow. Isn't that something? He just hung up on me.